6 months had passed since I auctioned off my family's dignity. I was sitting in my glass-walled office overlooking Manhattan when my secretary buzzed me. "Mr. Sterling, your relatives are downstairs. They say they have a legal claim." I leaned back and smiled. "Send them up." The doors burst open. My father, looking 10 years older and wearing a cheap, wrinkled suit, threw a stack of papers on my desk. My mother stood behind him, her eyes cold and full of hate. "Don't miss out on the best stories? Subscribe now." "We found the loophole, Caleb," my father shouted, his voice trembling. "Your grandfather's trust. It clearly states that the family estate cannot be sold without the consent of all heirs. You bypassed us. That auction was illegal. We're suing you for every dime, and we're taking the company too." My mother stepped forward, a smug grin returning to her face. "You thought you were so smart, didn't you? You're just a thief in an expensive chair. We're going to bankrupt you and put you back where you belong, in the gutter." I didn't flinch. I didn't even look at the papers. I simply opened a drawer and pulled out a single, yellowed envelope. "You're right about one thing, Dad," I said, my voice echoing in the silent room. "Grandfather did have a trust, but you only read the version you wanted to see." I slid a document across the desk. "This is the character clause. Grandfather knew exactly who you were. He stated that if any heir was found to be financially exploitative or showed gross negligence toward another family member, their rights to the estate would be permanently forfeited to the guardian of the line." I stood up, walking toward the floor-to-ceiling window. 20 years ago, when you stole my college fund to pay for your gambling debts, you triggered that clause. Grandfather made me the guardian when I was 18. I've owned the estate since then. I didn't bypass you. I simply allowed you to live in my house as guests, until you treated me like a servant at that wedding. The silence in the room was deafening. My father's face went from red to a ghostly white. The papers in his hand fluttered to the floor. "So," I continued, turning back to them, "the lawsuit you just filed, it's based on a trust that you no longer belong to. In fact, by filing this, you've admitted to attempted fraud." My mother started to stammer. "Caleb, honey, we didn't mean, we were just desperate." "Save it," I cut her off. "I've instructed my legal team to file counter charges, but I'm feeling generous today. I won't put you in jail." I tossed 2 bus tickets onto the desk. One way. To a small town in the middle of nowhere where I grew up. There's a small house there. It's paid for. It's humble. It's quiet. And most importantly, it has no valet service. You want it to be a family? Now you can be one, without my money, without my name, and without me. As security escorted them out of the building, my father turned back, tears streaming down his face. "Caleb, please. We're your parents." "No," I said, sitting back in my chair. "You were my clients, and your contract has been terminated." I watched them disappear into the elevator. The game was over. I wasn't the black sheep anymore. I was the shepherd, and I had finally cleared the field.